And at the end of the day, my friend visited me, and we had fun. We went to the park.
Okay, excellent, Carla. Was an interesting day, I guess. So, how's the weather today where you live, Carla?
It's actually pretty sunny,
Yes. And how
and
many degrees are you in right now?
um, um, it says that we're 16
16 degrees. Okay,
degrees.
excellent, Carla. Okay, thank you. And what about Edgar? How are you, Edgar? Good morning.
Good morning, Jose. I'm fine. Thanks for asking. What about you? Are you okay?
Okay, Edgar, don't worry. Okay, so Edgar, tell me, how was your day yesterday? What did you do?
Uh, well, uh, this this week, for me, it's uh, uh terrible and awful week because, as I told you, one of my colleagues was quit. So all the overload for his projects transferred to me. So yeah, it was um, still almost a hard week for me
Okay,
at this
so
time.
weren't you ready to start doing this job?
Uh, what do you mean about ready?
I mean, were you prepared? He he told you
Oh, okay,
before
okay.
that he was going to
Uh,
quit.
no, unfortunately, the news was very quickly.
Yes.
So uh, my colleague announced that the last Friday, and then the next week on the Monday, I I have to work with every project.
Okay, I understand now. Okay, thank you, Edgar. Thank you for sharing this with us. Okay, so well, today we start a new month. Today is September. I think it's the most traditional month for us Mexicans. Do you agree with this? Or do you like this month?
Uh, well, I'm not very fan about the traditional uh, taste dishes.
Okay.
I think that the only good this month is chiles en nogada. I'm really interested about that.
Do you usually eat it this month?
No, actually, well, in some cases, yeah, but it's not a rule.
Okay. So, and do you celebrate the independence of Mexico or no?
Yeah, absolutely. Here with my family, every year celebrate these uh, events.
Okay. Excellent. And what about Carla? What do you do this month? Do you celebrate it?
Mm, yes, we. um, Actually, the way we celebrate is more like to like we try to eat some Mexican dishes.
And what's your
Like,
favorite dish?
mm, mm, it's a pretty good question. Most of the time, most of the times, I'm feeling like pozole and pambazos on these days.
Okay, excellent, Carla. Okay, guys, thank you for sharing this with me about the things that you usually do during this month. Okay, so we're going to start today with this English lesson. But before we start, can somebody tell me what did we learn on Tuesday, please?
Sure. On Tuesdays, sorry, we check how to write an article, the structure of this one, also new vocabulary related with fashion styles or changing fashion styles. We make an exercise, a listening exercise related with this topic.
Excellent, Abel. Thank you. And what about Carla? Do you want to add something else?
Um, well, we practice our listening skills and reading skills. Well, I think that Edgar has already said everything I can remember.
Okay, excellent, guys. So, since we were talking about fashion and clothing changing on Tuesday, today we're gonna learn some words. You know that we usually learn some 6 words related to business each class, but these words are somehow related to fashion. I'm gonna share my screen. So, can you see my screen?
Yes,
Okay,
we
here
can
we
see it.
have 6 words. Okay, thank you. 6 words that, as I mentioned, are somehow related to fashion. We have the words revolution and skill. Do you know these words?
Kind of.
I know. And Perla,
Yeah, I think so.
you think so? Okay, and what do you think it means revolution as a verb?
How something has changed.
Okay, how something has changed. Okay, that can be. Edgar?
Yeah, in the same way, I think it's an evolution or make an optimus thing or service.
Okay, very good. Well, let's see what's the first word. Revolutionized. That is a verb. Okay, as we mentioned, it's to completely change something so that it is much better. Okay, to change something to make it much better. For example, here we have this example, and Carla, can you read, please?
Newton's discoveries revolutionized physics. Physics? How do you pronounce?
Okay, here we have the word revolutionized. Revolutionized. Okay, can you repeat?
Revolutionized?
Okay, exactly. Revolutionized. Newton's discoveries revolutionized physics. Okay, entonces, here, this is the meaning for this word. And then we have revolution, that is a noun, un sustantivo. That basically means it's a very important change in the way that people do things. For example, Edgar.
Technological revolution and penicillin produced a revolution in medicine.
Okay, excellent. A technological revolution and penicillin produced a revolution in medicine. So in this case, it's a very important change in the way that people usually do things. Okay. So finally, we have revolutionary as an adjective. And let's see what it means. It's something that completely is new and having a great effect. As we have here we are using this word as an adjective. Revolutionary draw. Or the 20th century brought about revolutionary changes in our lifestyles. Okay? Revolutionary changes. Okay. This is an adjective that basically means the same as the other two. Okay, so is it clear now what revolution means?
Yes.
Yes, Jose.
Okay, and then we have the word skill. I'm pretty sure that you know this word. Skill. What do you think it means?
Well, in this case, I'm not sure, but in general, skills as a noun, it's the ability or the tools
Exactly.
that have advantage.
Okay, exactly. That's the main meaning for this word. Thank you, Edgar. It's the ability to do an activity or job well, especially because you have practiced that. Okay? So it's an ability, that to do something well. Okay, for example, here we have Carla, please.
Yes, Ruth had possessed great writing skills. I have no skill at sewing.
Okay, excellent. Ruth had or Ruth possessed great writing skills. Or I have no skill at, or I have no skill in sewing. Okay, do you know what is sewing?
No.
No. Carla, do you know?
I have the idea it means like coser, but I'm not pretty sure.
Exactly. In this case, it's a noun, es un sustantivo, es costura. Okay, Edgar?
Okay, thank you for
Costura.
the
So it
clearing.
says that I have no skill at sewing. No tengo la habilidad para coser o en la costura. Bien. So then we have skilled, that is an adjective that basically means the same. Having the abilities needed to do an activity or job well. For example, my mother is very skilled at or in dressmaking. Skilled. Dressmaking. Do you know what is dressmaking?
I guess it would mean the whole word like design a dress
Exactly.
sewing.
The ability to design dress, or in this case, to make dresses. Thank you. And finally, we have skillfully. Have you ever heard this word before? Skillfully.
When someone is very good with something.
Okay, it can be when someone is very good at something. In this case, we are using this word as an adverb, como un adverbio. Okay, so as Edgar mentioned, having or showing ability. It means that you are an expert on something. For example, a skillfully garden. Okay, so it means that this person is an expert on his job. Okay, so is it clear now what this 6 word means? Do you have any questions?
Oh, it's clear right now.
Okay, Carla?
Yes, it is.
Okay, okay, let's continue then. Okay, we're gonna do an activity to continue practicing more about fashion and to talk about more about it. Okay, so let's ask some questions related to it. Okay, so I think some of these questions I have already asked them. Okay, so let's start with the third question because the 3 first questions I have already asked them in the previous lesson, but we're gonna ask this question, this first question. Okay, Carla, let's start with Carla. Do you usually read fashion magazines?
No, I have never read fashion magazine.
You have never.
Mm,
But do you know some fashion magazines or something like that?
um, I have heard about Vogue, I think.
Okay, Vogue. Okay,
Yeah. Um, I'm not really into fashion. I'm sorry.
okay, that's good. I'm not really into fashion. And what about the same question?
So do I. I'm not really into this word of fashion styles and medicine. Also, I prefer social magazines uh, better than fashion magazines.
Okay, that's good. Okay, let's here we have this sentence that you mentioned. That you prefer social magazines, right?
Right.
You can say this. I prefer social. You can say this.
Oh, okay.
I
Oh, okay.
prefer social magazines to fashion ones. Okay, the sentence that you mentioned was, I prefer social social magazines better than fashion. Okay, vamos a explicar esto. Okay, the first sentence is the correct way to say between to talk about two things that you prefer. You prefer one and the other not so much. Okay, in this case, you prefer social magazines and fashion magazines not so much. Okay, so this is the correct way to say or to express this preference. We have to use these 2 words, I prefer and the preposition to between the 2 things, social magazines to fashion ones. Okay, this is not correct, better than. Is it clear?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank
For
you
example,
for
if I
explanation.
ask, can you give me the name of 2 fruits, please?
Hamburgers and pizza.
Okay, hamburgers and pizza. And which is your favorite one?
I preferred a hamburger to pizza one.
Okay, you can say this. I prefer burgers to pizza. Okay, this sentence means that your favorite food is burgers and not so much pizza. Okay, so this is the way in which you can use this expression, prefer to.
So I have a question, Jose. So what is the function in the first one? Once,
Which one? Once? Okay,
right?
once. Once is replacing magazines. Okay, do you remember that
Okay,
we
okay, okay.
usually
Yeah.
use the this pronouns one
Sure.
and once?
Okay. Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, we usually use these words to replace something that has been already mentioned and to avoid repeating it. Okay, so in this case, I prefer social magazines to fashion magazines, but to avoid repeating the word magazines, we use this word once.
Okay.
Okay, we use once
Okay.
because here we're talking about in plural magazines. Is it clear?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
Welcome, Perla. Any question?
Not so far.
Not so far. Okay. Let's continue with the. Okay, we have. I know that this can be a very hard topic because you both mentioned that you are not related to fashion or you're not really into fashion. But let's try to answer these questions. But do you think that you can be fashionable without spending money? Carla?
Well, I think that you can be fashionable without spending um too much money. But I mean, you still have to wear some clothes, you know. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a normal amount of clothes, but I don't think it could be possible without spending any money.
Okay, I agree with you. And what about Edgar? What do you think?
I think it could be fashionable, but as Perla mentioned, at the end you must to spend at least some money. But um, the other thing that I was thinking is in some uh, environments or social uh, groups, it's very close the fashionable with the labels of the clothes or the design of the designers of the brands. So I think it's very complicated be fashionable without money.
Okay, I agree with you. As you mentioned, sometimes it's necessary to buy extra items to wear that are fashionable. But have you seen some videos on the internet that some people usually wear or make their clothes from trash? They took the trash and they turned
Yeah.
it into fashion. What do you think about this kind of people?
Well, in for example, in United States, it's very common. The thief. I'm not sure the correct word, but it's the reusable clothes um, on selling on the stores. I'm not sure if it's thrift or thrift, but it's very popular and many people goes to those stores because obviously first of all it's very cheaper, and also as you say in some cases you can find it I don't know addresses uh, for $1 or $2. It's amazing.
Yes. Okay, excellent. There we are. So this is our called second-hand clothes. Okay, like in Spanish. Ropa de segunda mano.
Okay.
Second-hand clothes. Okay, so Perla, what do you think about this kind of clothes?
I think that it's It's a good idea because you don't have to spend a lot of money, and it's also good for the environment.
Okay, it's good for the environment. And have you ever bought it? This kind of
Mm,
clothes?
Actually, I have tried to, but I don't know. I don't um I haven't like found a place where I can buy. Well, I don't used to go to places where I can buy it. But one thing my sisters and I do is that when we when we are not using a a cloth anymore,
Yes.
we ask each other like, will you wear it? And if you don't, we give it to my cousins.
Okay. Okay, excellent. In this case, you exchange clothes with your sister, right?
Yes.
Exchange. And what about, thank you, Carla. And what about Edgar? Have you ever bought this kind of clothes?
Yeah, here in Mexico City, it's very common places. Well, public markets on the street. Uh, he calls tennis. Um, there are tons of these kind of clothes. They call alpaca alpaca clothes. Yeah, in some cases, well, if I found something that I really like it, I buy it for someone.
Okay, excellent. Okay, thank you, Edgar. Okay, let's continue with the next question. Okay, so in your family, there is someone who is fashionable, Edgar?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, all my family is older.
Okay, it's okay. And what about Carla?
What was the question?
Okay, yes. Who is the most fashionable person in your family? Is there
Mm,
someone?
um, Maybe my elder sister.
Okay, does she like to wear uh, fashion clothes?
Yeah, I think so. She likes to wear um, expensive clothes. She likes to wear accessories. Um, so yeah, I think she's the one.
Okay, I understand. Okay, excellent, Carla. And what do you think about her? Do you think she looks nice with these clothes, accessories?
Sometimes there are sometimes that I don't really like how she dresses, but I mean, if she feels comfortable, it's okay. Um,
It's okay. Okay, excellent. Okay, okay. Then we have this question. Okay, you both mentioned that you don't really like fashion, and I think you can answer this question. Why do some people ignore fashion? Edgar.
uh, Probably the 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 key of this question is because it's expensive and
Yes.
also change super faster.
Okay. You mentioned 2 points that clothes are expensive and it's constantly changing. Okay, excellent. And what about Carla? Do you think the same? Do you agree with Edgar?
I think there that there could be different possibilities. I think that one of them is that fashion trends are not always um, are not always like acceptable for everyone.
Yes.
And well, that for me is like the main reason. And another thing is like, as Edgar said, it's expensive, and it I think it also requires more time, like to to build your closet.
Okay. Interesting, Carla. Thank you. Okay. So when you went to school, to college, do you usually wear fashionable clothes or like normal clothes? Edgar?
Well, you talking about when you attend the classes or in the ages of the university school?
Yes, when you were a student at university.
Because well, I asked you that because in when I was attending my classes, I don't really care about how could be uh yeah the my way used to be wear and also if was fashionable or not, but if I had a party, obviously I try to wear in a fashionable style or way.
Okay, that's really interesting, Edgar. Okay, thank you. And what about Carla? Do you usually wear fashionable clothes when you go out or when you were a student?
Mm, Actually, when I was a student, I
Yes.
didn't used to spend time on that. So I I I had to I wore normal clothes, but I also think that you don't necessarily have to wear like like to be in fashion to look good and feel good with how you look like.
Okay, I agree with you, Carla. So it's not necessary to wear fashionable clothes to feel comfortable with yourself and to look great. Okay, excellent. And then we have this question that says here, have you ever gotten an item of clothing tailored? Okay, do you know the meaning of tailored?
I know.
No?
Oh,
Okay, so it's very similar to the word that we mentioned at the beginning, sewing. But in this case, in Spanish, we can say bordar o costurar. ¿De acuerdo? So the question
Okay.
says, have you ever gotten an item of clothing tailored? This means that if you have gone to a place where you can get a piece of clothes that fits you, something that's okay. Is it clear, or do I have to explain it more?
Yeah. You mean like when you have changed a clothes size, or it is more like when you have fixed your clothes in order to make it last longer?
Okay, vamos a escribir this word, tailor. Okay, tenemos esta palabra, tailor. Tailor is a person who who usually makes clothes. Okay? In Spanish, we can say
Costurera.
costurera o sastre. Costurera o sastre. So the question says, have you ever gotten an item of clothing tailored? This means that if you have gone to these people to ask them to make a specific piece of cloth for you.
Okay.
¿Ya han ido al, sí, ya han ido al sastre, a la costurera, para que les haga una pieza de ropa a su medida?
Well, if your mom knows how to tailor, I think you never go with the tailor. But I was thinking that when I was child, especially on the kindergarten, when we had festivals on school, especially I don't know for the um, uh, how can I say pastorelas,
Sorry?
pastorelas for the
Oh,
performance of the Christmas.
okay. We say, let me write it. Nativity play. Play is una obra de teatro in activities related to Christmas. So it's nativity play, pastorela.
All right. Yeah. Well, in these cases, probably your parents or your mom must to go with the tailors.
Okay, so when you were at this play, nativity play, which character did you wear?
Well, some cases I was the devil, and the others I was the lions or some animals, and also an angel. So yeah,
Okay,
there are different customers.
okay, excellent. Okay. And what about Perla? The same question. Have you ever gotten a tailor clothes?
Um, actually, my my mom used to do that for me, and but one time we went because I had to to, to participate on a festival, and I had to dance like regional Mexican style. So
Okay,
I had to go to the tailor.
okay. Well, I think thank you, Perla. I think most moms usually do this for us. They usually tailor our clothes, in this case, to participate in different festivals at school. Okay, well, let's continue then. So, well, we have this question. I have already answered, but I want to know what you think about it. In your country, do children have to wear school uniform? Yeah.
Yeah. Um, if I'm not wrong, here in Mexico, you must to wear a school uniform until high school. So yeah, it's I'm not agree with this rule, but someday I was read about the purpose of this role, and it's interesting because the article says um, it's the way to organize be discipline and something related with uh, change your your personality. So it's interesting.
Okay, excellent, Edgar. And what about Carla? What do you think about the same question?
Yes, we have to wear uniform, and but I actually used to like to wear in a uniform because I didn't have to spend any time like to see what I was going to wear. I always have to wear the same
Okay,
thing, so
okay,
that's
that's
something I
one
like.
advantage, I guess. As you mentioned, wearing a uniform makes you to save time on choosing other clothes. Okay, but I don't know if you are familiar with this, but recently they have changed this protocol for wearing uniforms. Okay, I don't know if you have heard on the news, but nowadays it's not, well, the students have to wear uniform, but not in the same way. Okay, each, I guess each year, the SEP, you know what is the SEP?
Yes,
Okay,
the organization.
or organization related to education. Okay, each year they usually change the protocols of wearing uniforms. In this case, this year, they have changed it. That means that um, girls usually wear skirts. Do you know this?
Yeah,
Okay, nowadays they can go to school wearing pants as men, and they can also go to school with dyed hair, long nails, and all that sort of stuff. Uh, Nowadays it's acceptable to do this, and schools cannot forbid. Do you know this word?
forbidden. Yeah,
Schools cannot forbid students to do this kind of things because it goes against their personality. Didn't you know
sounds
this?
amazing. I didn't hear the the new about you talking about, but I think it's amazing. Also, the point that you mentioned that the girls don't need to swear a skirt. So I think here in Mexico is the best way to avoid many harassment for the girls. So uh, it's amazing.
Yes, yes, that's it. That's it. Um, Perla, what do you think about this? Do you think it's okay that girls wear pants, go to school with dyed hair and long nails?
Yeah, I think it's okay because um it could be a way to reflect your personality.
Yes. Okay.
And I totally agree with it.
Okay. Excellent. This was just a comment. Okay. Excellent. So we have 12 minutes. We have some time for two more questions. Okay. Choose a question. Okay. This question. What would you do or feel if you were refused entry to somewhere because of what you're wearing? Carla, please.
Well, maybe I would get mad,
Yes.
and I would also try to talk to someone because it's not fair, and actually I think there must be a law that forbids it. Mm, I mean, well, I know that, for example, at school, it's a rule,
Yes.
but if it's only like the idea of that I am not wearing the standard clothes, I would try to talk to someone and let people know about it. I don't know.
Okay, that's good. To try to talk to someone else. Okay. And what about Edgar? What do you think about the same question?
For this question, I was thinking when you are at the hotel, especially on the beach resort, it's super annoying when you can entry to some restaurants because you use sandals or you just a shorts because it's I don't know, but it not makes sense for me. If you're on the beach, you probably have 90% the just still hanging on the sand or swimming and uh, take a bath. It's ridiculous. This kind of rules, especially in these hotels. So I really annoying when it's. I know it's a protocolaric things. Also, many people, especially with the the high classes, it's not very acceptable. It's not common see uh, that kind of stats in in these places. So yeah, it's well for me, in my personal opinion, I think it's is not an option or a rule.
Okay, excellent, Edgar. Okay, so we go with the last question. With this one, do you think dress codes should be adhered to if requested on an invitation? Bella, what do you think?
Um, that's a very good question because sometimes I deal with trying to know what dress codes I should wear, and but it's also mm, I mean it could be rude, like to define, like you have to wear this. I'm not sure. For example, we have like a lunch party last week, and I was the only one wearing a dress, and I feel uncomfortable because I was pretty sure that I had to go like more formal, and everyone was wearing tennis. Well, not everyone, but most of people were only wearing tennis and jeans.
Sorry, Perla.
Okay. Okay, so Edgar, did you attend to this part?
Yeah, I attended this a party. Also, when I was read the email related with the dress code, uh, I remember that the staff mentioned that we must to have a casual, but for me, casual is not with with well for men wear a suit or something like that. Um, that's probably my misunderstanding.
Okay. Okay, I understand. Okay, guys. So, well, we only have 5 minutes. Do you have any questions so far?
No, sir.
Okay. So, well, yes, this week we have been using this platform, Teams, to take our lessons. Do you think it's okay if we continue using it for the rest of the course?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so okay, what else? Okay, so before we finish this lesson, I would like to tell you that we almost finished the book that we are using. And this week we start our last unit, number 12. So we are almost done with the course. So did you know this?
No, I didn't know
No?
that.
Okay, so the book only has 12 units, and today we finish with unit number 11. So we only have one unit left, and then we're gonna take our last test. Okay, so please continue doing your activities on the platform, Recreo, in case you haven't had the opportunity to do them. Okay, so if you don't have any more questions, that will be it for today, and I'll see you next week. Is that okay for you?
Yes.
Sorry, Jose.
Yeah.
I have a question. What gonna do when we finish the book? We start with a new one?
Yes, that's what teacher Miguel told me. Today, in this lesson, course, sorry, we're using the book Touchstone number 2, and we're gonna start with number 3.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna start with the next book. Okay, guys. Any other question?
No, I don't have.
No, it's okay.
Okay, guys. So then, see you. Have an amazing weekend, and see you next week. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, guys. Have a awesome weekend. See you on Tuesday.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye. You are.